Ray and I were talking earlier. I says, Ray, get Jack up to Glasgow, Celtic. But you said an interesting one, Ray. What about America? What about down to Miami or somewhere? A bit of sunshine, good for his body, enjoys football there. With the greatest respect to the soccer league down there, it's nowhere near the standard of the Premiership here. So maybe Jack's now, maybe it's about playing every game and enjoying himself. And his family is a great place down there to grow up, you know. So maybe he's just got to say, my days are over in the UK at the highest level. Let's go and enjoy it now.
Well, it's not about money now, is it? It's all about playing. So they've either got to come to some sort of agreement in England to say, well, we pay when you play, which would make sense for both parties, because if he does get injured, then obviously the club are not in that situation where they've still got to pay him, and Jack's got to accept that with what's going on at the moment in football and money side of football. But I totally agree with you, Al. I mean, I mentioned it. Miracle could be perfect for him. The pace of the game is perfect. It's probably a slower build-up, and you know, I think
still fit lads down there. Don't get me wrong.
Of course they are. Yeah.
You know, it's not easy peasy. It's not like
he's a ball player, isn't he, Jack?
Yeah,
I mean, he won't be able to run with it as much. He's got to keep give and go, and you know, he's got great.
You know, I just want him to enjoy himself now.
Would you like him at Celtic on a pay-as-you-play deal? You think pay-as-you-play deal? Some team out there would.
By the way, Scottish football's not slow. You know, it's lively up there. There's one or two people have found out when they've gone up there, but I think if Jack, I think the Celtic fans would take to him if he found his form and you know his dribbling skills and running it, taking the ball and running at defenders. I think they'd give him a chance. They really would.
Ray, you were training with Arsenal, weren't you, when Jack Wilshere was coming through the academy and breaking into the first team? What are your memories of a 15, 16-year-old Jack Wilshere involved with the Arsenal first team?
Well, there's two players who stand out for me as youngsters who are going to have a big future. And one was Jack Wilshere and Cesc Fabregas. Cesc was a young 15-year-old who come to England. He played in the youth team. He went through obviously the ranks and got into the first team. What a player he's been over the years and what a career he had. And the same with Jack. But Jack just obviously... You know, he was so important. Once he got in that first team, he was too important to leave out, and which probably didn't help him at a young age, because you know what managers do now with players, they really look after them, a little bit like Foden, what Pep Guardiola's done. He's put him in a few games and they left him out, and you know, you've got to be careful with youngsters because they're still growing and they're still learning the game. But Jack was such an important part of Arsenal in that period. I don't think Arsene Wenger could leave him out. He was one of the first on the team sheet, which, you know, he played lots of games as a youngster, and maybe it just took its toll on his body a little bit. And that's why he's probably getting lots of problems now as he's gone on. He had a couple of really bad injuries. I mean, he was out for a year. You know, when you have a cruise ship, you're out for 8 or 9 months, but when you're out for a year plus, that's a long, long time to be out of football, and he certainly hasn't helped him. And, you know, he struggled now. He went to Bournemouth and looked like he could get his career back on track, but it just hasn't worked out for him. I don't know what Jack wants. I don't know if his agent or whoever's looking after him wants too much money and the clubs don't want to take a chance. I don't know. Basic wage I'm talking about.
Jack's got to be. He's got to be fair. Situation now.
Look, when I went to Hull City, and I didn't have to do this, by the way, but I was training with Arsenal during the week because I just come back from Middlesbrough. I have 3 children I was trying to see from my ex-wife. And I didn't want to go and live in Hull at the time. And I said to Phil Brown, who's the manager, I said, Phil, if I can do a deal and, you know, I can train with Arsenal during the week and play with you guys at the weekend and I'll try and help you get out of relegation, can we come to some sort of a deal? And he said, look, if Arsene Wenger don't mind you training Monday to Thursday, you come up Friday, play the game Saturday and come back again to London. Now, I didn't have to do this, but I said to Hull City, if I get injured in training for Arsenal, and I'm not playing at the weekend, you don't pay me. So I will when I'm on that pitch, you play me as I play. Now, they went, you sure? I said, yeah, no, that's fair, because I want to be fair with both ways, you know. They could have paid me and I was injured. But I said, that's
big
not
gamble,
right.
40 grand a week then. There's a lot of money.
I wish so. But yeah, that wasn't, and I felt better with myself by doing that, because I don't want to take a club, and they were struggling at the time. They were second from bottom. They could have got relegated. Lucky enough, we got out of trouble and come fourth from bottom, which stayed up. And you know, next season they went up to the Premier League. So it just shows you how quickly it can change for a club. But I done a deal with them, and that's what probably Jack's got to look at now. Saying, well, look, if I don't play, you don't pay me. But if I play, then
I'm sure, Ray, given his ability, there'll be some club out there who can come to some sort of deal. He also talks, guys, in this piece briefly about how tough it can be mentally, training by yourself and everything, working by yourself,
must be so difficult.
Not having a club. How you suffered with a lot of injuries.
I was just about to say, you train by yourself.
Yeah, how hard can that be when you're fit, you want to play football, but injuries keep on holding you back?
It's very lonely. You know what I mean? You can try as much as you can in the gym, go swimming, weight bearing exercises, but you just want to be out playing five-a-side and having a laugh. You do. And then there comes a time where you come back 2 or 3 times and you break down again. You think, what's the point?
The problem
it can get on top of you.
When you're out for a long period of time, it's not sometimes the injury that goes again, it's other parts of your body. Because now your hamstrings and your calves are not used to working every day, and suddenly you're trying to push, up the tempo a little bit in your training, and then other things go wrong. You pull your hamstring, then you're out for another 4 or 5 weeks, and it's a really hard road. Lucky enough, touch wood, my longest injury was about 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and I was back. Yeah, really? Absolutely. Wow. So I was very lucky in that respect. I wasn't out for 9 months or 10 months. I should imagine it's a nightmare. You're sitting in that treatment room watching the lads going out to train, and you've got a long way ahead of you. There's lots of players who've had big injuries. Alan Shearer, cruise ship. Robert Perez, when I was at Arsenal, cruise ship. Over Mars. So there's a lot of people go through them injuries, but it's mentally, it can really get to you. That's where you've got to have good physios around you. You've got to have good people to keep you positive all the time, and that's how you've got to be as a player.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.